Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another SwansCast podcast. And we have been playing QPR this bank holiday Monday. Unfortunately, enough to be joined by Ben from the W12 Podcast. So, welcome to the channel, Ben.
Morning. Happy Easter.
And happy Easter to you as well. And it looks like it has been a happy Easter weekend for QPR because you seem to be maybe pulling a little bit away from the bottom three more so than you have a lot in recent weeks or months, I would say, in the league. So how are your initial feelings around your recent form and maybe where you're sitting in the league at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really up until Friday, it wasn't a true real reflection of our form or how we were playing. Since Marty Cifuentes has come in, we've been very good. We've conceded there's only one team that have conceded more goals than us, and that's less goals than us. Sorry, and that's Leeds. So we're pretty tight. We don't score a lot, but I think since Marty's been in, we're sort of 8th or 9th in the table after Friday's result. So we're in really good form. I think we've only lost 2 of our last 12, maybe 3. So we are actually in good form. And Friday was a huge 6-pointer against Birmingham. Could have gone either way. It's just one of those games where anything can happen. You need a wonder goal, right? And if we'd lost that, the table would have looked completely different. So it's just, it's so tight down there. 3 points is massive. It's huge, isn't it? Like, not teams opposite don't seem to be winning at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, Jimmy Dunn scored an absolute worldie from sort of 25, 30 yards on his chest, pings it into the top corner. So yeah, delighted really, and it puts us in a really good position now. I think we only need a couple more wins, so hopefully we can grab that in the last 7 games.
Yeah, and obviously, I said from W12 Podcast, will you be discussing the match before, or have you already? And where can we find any of that stuff as well?
Yeah, it's probably unlikely we're going to get everyone on a pod before, obviously, with the fixtures the way they are over Easter. But we'll definitely be reflecting on the 2 games early next week. So, yeah, if you need something to listen to, come over. I'm sure we'll be chatting it through.
Yeah, go check that out. Obviously, I put the links as always in the video anyway, but go check out that podcast. Or the reflection on the match anyway. So the 1st of April Fool's Day, if you like, we'll see who becomes the biggest fools on the football pitch. But that's when the fixture is going to take place. Obviously, bank holiday, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of people looking to go down. You're right about the form. QPR's form's perhaps picked up a lot more than the teams below. Same as ours. You've got exactly the same form over the last 5 matches with 2 draws, 2 wins, and 1 defeat. So, we're at home. Maybe we should be looking at it as favourites. And I think for us, it's one of them. If we win this game, I think we are done and dusted in regards to safety. But on the flip side, you're probably also looking at it the same way. So, a very, very difficult game, I think. You're fighting for your lives still. We just need that one to get us over the line. But we played a team in Sheffield Wednesday in the last match who were proper fighting for their lives. And that was a very tricky game for us. We didn't necessarily do that well. Got a draw out of it, probably a bit of an unjust draw, I'll be totally honest. I don't think we deserved a point whatsoever, but we'll take it away from home. Looking for an improved performance to bounce back, obviously, this weekend now. So the opposition, yourselves, QPR, what can we expect to see on the pitch from the team then? Obviously, I don't think we've played you since your new manager's taken charge. So what can we expect to see?
Well, it'll be a completely different game and different teams, I imagine, to the last time we played you. Because the last time we played you, we had obviously Ainsworth. Did you have Duff? Was it Duff in charge? And you were.
Yeah, we should have won that game, I think. And there's a late equaliser.
Yeah. Did you score a handball goal though?
I mean, it's a smell it was in.
Anyway, yeah. So I think it'll be completely different teams. I think you'll be looking completely different, and we certainly will. We're a lot more solid. Yeah. Like I said, we don't concede many goals. That being said, we'll probably lose 3 or 4-0. But we've got a really good centre-back partnership in Steve Cook and Jake Clark-Salter, who are excellent, and are probably one of the main reasons why we managed to get out of the position we're in. We've got Isaac Hayden from Newcastle, him and sort of Jack Colback, Sam Field in the midfield. So we're pretty solid. Asmir Begovic in goal. and we've got two fullbacks who are in form as well, with Jimmy Dunn and Kenneth Powell. So we're looking pretty solid. So we'll keep it tight. We'll keep the ball as and when we can. We're not a possession team, but we're not. We can keep the ball quite well. We have this mid press where we'll sort of let you have it at the back, and then once it moves into midfield, that's when we do our press. It's a bit of an continental sort of press, if you like, a Scandinavian. So you might see that happening where we'll let you play at the back, and as soon as you move it into midfield, then the whole team presses up. So that's how we'll play. And we've got Ilias Chair and Chris Willick on the wings, who on their day are probably, arguably two of the better number 10s in the league. It's just that they don't have enough good days. But Marty Cifuentes has managed to get them in a bit of form, so hopefully they'll turn up on tomorrow. Yeah, mate, and that's it really. We just don't. What we're not great at is set pieces. So if you get a set piece or anything, then I worry every time we concede a set piece, because of the 12 goals we've conceded under Marty, 8 of them have been set pieces.
We can be a threat, especially with the likes of Harry Darlin in set pieces. It's not normally our go-to way of scoring goals, but he is someone that can offer a bit of a threat there. We're a bit poor conceding from set pieces also. So if you're not that good at them, maybe we will be okay there. But historically, when Swansea play like a possession style of football, which we've gone back to doing now, we tend to ship goals from set pieces. It just seems to go hand in hand. It's like you can't have one without having the other. It's odd. You focus on the technical stuff and playing it on the floor, and all of a sudden you can't header a ball anymore.
Honestly, mate, we at one point about 4 or 5 weeks ago, conceding the corner was like conceding the penalty. Literally, we were just conceding every corner. It was so weird.
I mean, anyway. Harry Darlin is the one that's a bit different from us in regards to set pieces, attacking especially. He tends to get on quite a lot of the balls that come into the box and does cause a bit of a nuisance in there as well. The only thing I would say about him is he probably should score more than he does from set pieces. So maybe he's not the most accurate when it comes to his shooting, when it comes to heading the ball. He gets on target, but usually it's like at the keeper or not enough power and can be dealt with. But he can be a danger and he can definitely be a nuisance. So maybe that's one to watch if he does play. Otherwise, you're saying about not conceding many goals. Well, I don't know how much news to this or news to your ears this will be, but we don't tend to keep that many clean sheets ourselves. And I think it's fair to say that we've been struggling to score recently. We really struggled to score against Sheffield Wednesday. We actually scored from a set piece, funnily enough, but I think there's an element of fortune, kind of like ricocheted and pinballed around in a box before falling at Jamallo's feet.
How's Jamallo doing? He was at us last season.
Do you know what? I think
he wasn't great.
Flatters to deceive a little bit for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too harsh. He's actually scored like 3 goals in the last 3 games that he's played, I believe, which sounds amazing, but I'm sure they've all been off the bench. And like coming in it, he had a bit of luck, but the goal he scored against Cardiff, he definitely did well to take that. He didn't necessarily do much in the game before he took the goal, but when he had the ball, he had the opportunity to run, and he ran, and he made that happen. So, fair play to him for that. I want to see him doing that a bit more. So running at players more, running with the ball more. And I don't feel like he does it as much as he could. And I think that's just what costs him, perhaps, for me to say he's playing well, He's not playing bad. He's just kind of in between. He's doing okay. But
he's a bit of a huff and puffer, isn't he? He's a huffer and puffer. That's what he's called. He's for the ability he's got. He doesn't do enough, does he? Like he's got real ability. He should be really scoring more goals. And
there's too many games where he kind of like floats in and out of the game, or he's just there, not really doing much. And you might have a moment where he switches it on and causes a bit of trouble. But then it just makes me ask the question, why are you not doing that more? Why are you not why is it only 1 moment in a match or 2 moments in a match? Why are you not making a nuisance all the time in a match? We quite often use him as a striker, and he can't really hold the ball up the best. So I don't know whether that's part of it. And because he's been often utilised as a striker during his time here, he's lost some of his traits he used to have as more of a winger. I'm not sure where he played for yourselves when he was with you.
bit of both, mate. Yeah, he played up front. He played on the left. He was probably better on the left, but he did play for a long period up front, and yeah, quite effective. But
I think he could do the job. He's got finishing. I just think he doesn't have the overall traits you need as a striker. And then when he's there, you lose a lot of that. So it looks like he's not in the games. Even though
I always
now
thought
and
he was
again,
quicker. I always thought he was quicker when he came.
I think he's lost
thought
a
he
bit
was,
of pace.
Yeah, I thought he was lightning, but then he came, and I was like, "Oh, you're not that quick."
He was when we had him the first spell here. He was quicker than he is now. That's for sure. And he's good at dribbling when he runs with the ball. He just doesn't do it enough. But maybe it's a confidence thing. We'll see. I mean, to be fair, he scored like quite a few goals for us this season, so it could be being a bit harsh. But we haven't had the best year, so it's hard for any players to stand out in an attacking format sometimes. But we'll see. Maybe he'll score against you now with former club thing tomorrow.
Definitely will. Yeah,
and I'll eat my words, and that's fine. You can make me do that. I'm more than happy for it. But yeah, he's out of contract in the summer, so it'd be interesting to see where he goes from Bournemouth because we only got him on loan. But yeah, so we tend to not be able to score so many. We need to score a minimum of 2 to win games, and it's very rare we're keeping clean sheets. So it could be quite a tight game, a 1-1 or 2-1, something like that. I think don't know which way, but that's what I feel like. A lot of our games are in the balance at the moment. Not really getting rolled over. We always want to leak a goal, and maybe we don't score as many as we should compared to how much of the ball we might have as well. And if you're saying you're not going to press us in defence, we tend to make more mistakes when teams press us quite high up the pitch. So it'll be interesting to see how your mid-pitch press is going to work out against our style. It'll be quite interesting to watch.
Well, look, Marty Cifuentes, he's very. He may change tactics. He does do that. Like we often sometimes play differently, but our go-to is definitely the mid-press.
Yeah.
So maybe
it might be effective.
I don't know, but
it might be effective. We want to stretch the opposition up to make them as much gaps as possible to keep the ball, tire you out, make the gaps to play through you, and we'll be patient in trying to do that. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I guess it'll be an interesting one to watch for sure. Maybe it'd be quite hard to break you down if you're being a little bit deeper with your press, so it might be a bit frustrating for us. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so looking at your team, I know you mentioned a lot of the players that already that probably will feature, and I'm assuming you're going to go for a 4-2-3-1. So who would be the key players? I think the choice is probably obvious, but if anyone's going to cause a bit of damage, maybe a moment of magic, who would we be looking out for?
Yeah, so Cifuentes said after the game on Friday that he's going to do a bit of rotation. So I don't know who he meant and who will come in and not. So whilst our team's been, our 11's, there's been about 13 players that have been pretty consistent over the last sort of, couple of months because we've avoided quite a lot of injuries, which has helped us a lot. So I'm not 100% sure who start, but obviously you've got Ilias Chair who's excellent. He's in a bit of form. He's a real one to watch out for. If we can get him in the final third on the ball, he's a threat. We've got Chris Willock. We've also got a young lad called Sinclair Armstrong. I'm not sure if you've heard or know much about him. He's a young Irish lad. He's only 19, 20. He's built and he's quick and he's just a bit raw and he gets a bit panicky, real young but if he plays and you space him behind you, there's no one catching him if he gets going. So it's just that he's just a very young and he's learning the game a bit and in the position we're in, I'm not sure Marty trusts him fully.
Yeah.
But he came on away at Sunderland last week, a couple of weeks ago, and he caused them all sorts of problems. I don't know how we didn't score. So if he plays, he's a real one to watch out for. We've got another player called Lucas Anderson. I think he could be the one to be rotated out because he played 90 minutes and he's not fully fit because we brought him in January. He used to play for Ajax and he used to play for Marty in Scandinavia. He's really technically really good. He's got like Ginola-like hair. If he plays, he can be quite a handful, especially from set pieces as well, and he's got good delivery. But our centre backs, our defenders are probably the ones to watch out for. They're the ones who keep scoring the goals for us. Where Steve Cook scored on Friday, and Jimmy Dunn, our right back, our centre back, stroke right back, who somehow managed to play right wing towards the end of the game. So that's where our goals are coming
from
from.
set pieces then, or?
Well, no, it was just. I don't know how long after a set piece you can call it a set piece goal. It was just pinging about for ages and back in the box and stuff like that. And
if you ask our manager, Luke Williams, as soon as you take a corner until it goes out of play next, it's still part of the corner, according to him.
Right.
So.
Well, great. Well, then, yeah, it was. We did score that on our first goal. And the second goal was just a hoof up. Jimmy Dunn, I don't know if you've seen it, he's chested it down and just volleyed it straight into the top corner in the 93rd minute or something.
Well, let's hope their scoring streak has dried up a little bit here then.
Yeah. But they'll definitely be the 3 or 4 players to watch out for.
And if I flip the question then, if you look at our squad, are there any names that stand out that you're a little bit worried about?
Do you know what? I was looking.
There we go. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties for carry on.
I was just having a quick look on live score, just because I looked at your team on Friday, and
yeah,
your team's quite decent. Your bench was really strong. It surprised me that you're struggling. I like
just
you've got
one
that
of them seasons.
Is it Ronaldo, one of the wings?
Yeah.
Ronaldo, yeah. I mean, I've been seeing a couple of his goals. Right, he looks like a half decent player. I'm not sure how he's getting on, but
yeah, he's come in January and he's been a bit of a spark. Brought a bit of flair and excitement to the wings. We didn't really play with wingers before, so we signed a couple in January, and I don't know whether it's a mix of we haven't seen it for so long that we're so excited now we're seeing players running up and taking players on and doing a bit of trickery and skills. He's done well, to be fair. I think he's had a couple of quiet games the last couple of games. He was quite quiet against Sheffield Wednesday. But then on the flip side, he was really good against Cardiff. So definitely one to watch in terms of your defence for sure. If he's on it, then he's going to cause trouble.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Jamal Lowe. Ex-players always seem to score against us, and Jerry Yates always scores against us as well. I don't know if he's playing or will play.
No, he's not playing, and he's not the massive favourite of the fans. So
he
hasn't scored for quite some time now. But maybe we'll happen. Everyone says this all the time, and I have to come on and say, like, yeah, he's out of favour. No one likes him, and everyone's like, "Oh, really? He's a bit of a nemesis for us." So I just feel like we haven't got the best out of him.
He always scores against us. I like you play Cullen up front, don't you? Is that right?
Cullen's starting at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, and I obviously like Grimes. He's a great Championship centre midfielder. So
yeah, Grimes is ever present. I think he's probably our most important player in terms of what we try to do as a team, and he has been for years. So as I always say, if you could stop Grimes playing, then generally you stop Swansea playing. So that's probably where you need to target in terms of trying to get at us. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, last kind of couple of questions then. So looking at the table, I know we kind of touched on it at the beginning. Are you feeling confident about your chances now? Like, how do you see this game going? And I know you said perhaps you only need 1 or 2 more wins. If you look at the form below you, I think only Sheffield Wednesday have got 2 wins in the last 5. But other than that, the other 5 teams have not picked up a win in the last 5 games. So that must give you a little bit of confidence that maybe coming into the final stretch, you're going to have just about enough to get over the line.
Yeah, I mean, 4 points isn't a lot, is it, really, when you look at it? We've got a better goal difference. It's 5 points, really. But 4 points, you could lose that in a weekend, with 2 games in a week, So it's not a lot. What is on our side is the amount of teams below us. There's quite a lot of teams below us. A lot of them are out of form. There's a couple of teams above us as well who are only a point or, same point or a point above us. So when you look at it like that, I think we're going to be okay. I think, you look at Blackburn's fixtures, they look horrendous, and we're above them on points. So if we can't get if we can't get more points than them in these last 7 games, I'd be surprised, because their fixtures are it's probably as tough as they could be.
They could be in a bit of trouble, couldn't they? They've got Southampton to play. They've got Leeds, Coventry, Sheffield Wednesday, who it's not an easy game now, especially 3 games before the end of the season. That could be like a relegation 6-pointer, and Leicester in the last game. Coventry, Leicester is the last 2 games. It's not what you want when you're in that position.
and even then they've got even the easier games. They've got Sunderland and Bristol City away, and tough games, mate. I know that they're mid-table, but they're sort of places you probably don't want to go to if you can avoid it. So, real tough fixtures. You've got Plymouth who are just completely out of form. I don't know, they've fallen off a cliff. Manager's gone, best players gone. And then you've got obviously Huddersfield, Sheffield Wednesday, Birmingham. I mean, they weren't great. I think we'll be all right, mate. I think just need to get those couple of wins out of the way. I think that the game we don't tend to do well at Swansea. I don't know what we don't often win there or do well. So it's going to be a tough game. I think like most championship games, a lot of them are just a flip of a coin, aren't they? They're 50-50.
Yeah.
You're looking for a referee decision or a bit of luck or a wonder goal. I reckon that sort of difference for a lot of these games that are being played.
I've said it all season, and not to discredit Rotherham, but I feel like they're the one that's maybe a cut under at the moment. Unfortunately, they're a bit adrift. And then for me, if you go from West Brom, who were in 5th, I know they got quite a few more points than us, but if you go down to Sheffield Wednesday, really,
it's not much in it, is there?
There might be like a 30-point gap, but I just think momentum and form and maybe injuries is what has helped. It is basically the difference in that entire pack. And I really don't think there's much in it between any of them. So I said West Brom. We beat West Brom 1-0, and they didn't lay a glove on us in that game. They were awful.
Yeah,
so it just says it just shows how close the league is. I think the 4 above, the 3 obviously that got relegated, and Ipswich seem to have bucked the trend and come in and done a really good job. Leeds in the league at the moment, which is amazing. I thought it was for sure going to be one of the relegated teams that wins. We see how that plays out to the end. But everyone else is literally a player here or there. If you've got a star signing and managed to stay fit, or
we played Leicester. We played Leicester a few weeks ago. We beat them 2-1, and we should have. I mean, comfortably as well. It was only a goalkeeper mistake that let their goal go in, and they weren't great. I don't know. I know they're in real bad form at the moment, but
they're bottling the league, aren't they?
So
I'm surprised.
They weren't great, but I agree. It's like I said. If we lose, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd take a draw now, 0-0, 1-1. I think it's going to be a bit of a rotated squad. A few players coming in. We've got Sheffield Wednesday away at home next Saturday, so that's the big one for us.
Yeah,
that we need to
keep some down there and pulls you away if you win that.
Well, just any points we can get now, we're just going to get. Well, I think we need to get to 48, 50 points. I think that's the mark, isn't it?
I think
there,
so.
I think you'd be safe. Yeah, so a point. I'll take a point, mate.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Same for us at Sheffield Wednesday. Performance was awful, but you can't. I think away point in this league as a general rule, if you can do well at home and then take points away, that's a good foundation to build on. So we'll start to end up and wrap up there then. So just one last question I do ask, which is not football related, just a bit of fun. What is the best or favourite football scran you've ever had when you've gone to any stadium in the past?
Oh my God, mate. I don't tend to eat too much. More drink.
You don't have to have eaten it, but if you've seen something that you spotted and you're like, you know what, that looks fantastic.
I always like a pie, right? A puck of pie, and I had a puck of pie away at Norwich once, and I think it was last season. Was it last season? And it was unbelievable, mate. It was like a chicken balti pie.
I've heard about this chicken balti pie before. I
don't know
if it's Norwich, but somewhere else.
It's so good. If you ever see one knocking about and you're a bit hungry, give it a go because it was really nice. I remember eating it going, blimey, that was good.
Do you know what? I think my mother-in-law actually put one in the freezer the other day. I don't know if it was paka. I need to check. Definitely some sort of chicken balti or chicken tikka pie. Mate, it says on it as tasted in football stadiums or something.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the infamous one that I'm hearing about. I'll have to go and get out of the freezer this week and give it a go.
And I had a really random pastry at Plymouth away a couple of years ago. It was a while ago now, actually, but I remember thinking that was good.
Cornish pasty by any chance?
Yeah, it was quite mate, it was beautiful.
Well, thank you very much for joining me, Ben. Do you want to remind everyone where we can find the W12 podcast? Yeah,
sure. It was just on socials. Type it in, W12. It'll come up. We've any QPR fans listening, or anyone really. We've had Les Ferdinand on, Harry Redknapp, Neil Warnock. So we've had some good listens in there. Some ex-players.
if you're not necessarily a QPR fan, I guess some of those conversations will still be quite
Yeah.
interesting to listen to anyway, as football perspective and as a football fan. So go check out Ben and the rest of the team at the W12 podcast. Thank you for coming on. I know it's early on Easter Sunday, so nobody wants to be doing any sort of work really, but unfortunately football over the bank holiday weekend doesn't stop. So really appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll chat again next year.
Yeah, good luck for the rest of the season, and
And
have a good
yourselves.
Easter.
Thank you very much.